Any final words of advice for your old captain? Wait, don't tell me. I'm being impulsive. I haven't considered all the consequences. It's too risky. Thanks for the input. But I've got to do what I think is right. I know it wasn't easy living all these years without her, Chakotay. But when I'm through, things might be better for all of us. Trust me.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Deep Space Pride, a gay Star Trek podcast. My name is Mike. I am one of your hosts, and with me is Johnson, my co-host. Johnson, happy Wednesday. How are you doing today?
Happy Wednesday. It means it's almost Thursday, which means it's almost the weekend, which means it's almost next week. So,
yes, but you just admitted before we started recording that there are no real work-life boundaries. So
no. Well, actually, I'm pretty good on weekends, keeping my eye off work emails.
Okay.
But I would say Monday to Friday, I'm like pretty on all the time. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
all
like,
right.
I think that's just agency life. You get used to it, you know? You just get used to like...
But by 5 o'clock on Friday, it's lights out?
More or less. So supposedly we are starting Summer Fridays this Friday already, which is shocking to me. Shocking. Because usually most agencies, we don't start Summer Fridays until Memorial Day.
Right. Yeah.
So for this agency, Summer Fridays means you can sign off at 1. And I'm like, will that ever happen?
Ooh.
I like it rarely happens. But I think one nice thing is fewer people. Okay, so it's a two-pronged sword, double-edged blade. I'm like conflating all my like idioms. So whatever. So, this means that Friday afternoons, it frees up. Fewer people want to have meetings. Like, usually it gets a little more quiet. If you want to work, you can get more work done and then sign off a little bit earlier. Or if you can, you actually log off. But this means that now my Monday to Thursday, all the meetings are compounded because no one wants to have meetings on Fridays. So now everything else is from Monday to Thursday. Today, I had 12 meetings. My first meeting started at 9. My last meeting was at 5:30. So it was just like out of
wow. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, so I'm like, will this be my life for the next 4 months? I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, Monday through Thursday. I mean, yes. Well, you know how I feel about too many meetings. So,
but this is remote work. It's like everything becomes a meeting because you can't just pop in and have a 5-minute chat with someone. So
yeah, I mean your chatting through Zoom does not kind of fulfill that need for quick questions and things like that.
Well, now it's a matter of actually like you need to book a time because everyone is in all these back-to-back meetings. So you don't actually try to book a time. Once in a while, I'll be like, oh, can I just Zoom you? And that happens. Yep. But most of the time, that's difficult. So you got to book a meeting.
And in order to block out... Yeah. You need to block out the time in order to basically have that chat that you could... Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah. Wow, that is quite the life. Well, if there are no meetings on Friday, that is, you can work at your own pace and kind of sign off when you want to. So that's not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. So,
all right.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it works. But
all right. That's interesting.
So...
Maybe I should float that idea to my company and say, hey, let's start Fridays, which for most of the people I work with would be Thursdays, but I'm Monday through Friday, but most people are Sunday through Thursday. So
right.
But yeah, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The other idea that someone had, or that I had, or something because we had a random snow day and February 1st, I think it was, or February 15th. February 15th was President's Day. 2 weeks before that, we had a random snow day, right?
I don't remember, but sure.
So not an official snow day. Like it's where my bosses said, "Hey, everybody, we want you to take a snow day. Log off. Do not do work. We'll close down for the day." So the opposite thought was we should have a sun day where it's a beautiful day outside and people just be like, you know what, let's just have a sun day.
That's cute.
So
will it happen though?
It might. I mean, it actually probably should have happened like this week or last week after kind of Easter.
Yeah.
But a lot of people
was supposedly nice, right? I didn't go outside.
No, it's mostly cloudy.
Oh, was it? Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I only went out to the grocery store to pick up a few supplies to get us through until our meal plan kicks in.
All right, the meal plan.
The meal plan, yes.
Yeah.
So trying to simplify our life with a meal plan.
That's right.
It'll be good.
But you still need to cook.
Yeah, but these are like 15-minute quick meal things. So definitely not as involved. They provide everything. The only thing you need to provide are salt, pepper, and olive oil. That's it. So, I mean, 15 minutes, that's great. Done. Take it. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Well, let me know how it goes.
Yeah.
I hate cooking. I hate it.
I mean, I'm kind of become the same way. I mean, but last night Dennis cooked a pot roast, which was amazing.
That sounds so involved.
It was definitely involved in his part for sure. But it was so good. Wow, just amazing. I'm dreaming about it right now.
Wow.
So once in a while, but he's sort of more the cook. I mean,
he is definitely more the more experimental cook, or he wants to try different things.
Yeah.
I
mean, like for me, like work kind of goes to like 7-ish, and he gets out of work at 8, and I need a little downtime, right? Or sometimes I'll go for a run or whatever, do some exercises after I get off work. And so, yeah, it's just a matter of kind of figuring out a balance between all of this stuff. So,
I mean, that's the thing. I'm like, mentally, I think I have like a block when it comes to cooking, because usually after work, I'm tired. And I can't imagine. I know with the meal plan, you don't have to like prep or anything, but still I'm like, I have to like pull it out of the plastic and like put it in.
But that's easy. So what we're both suffering from is decision fatigue. When you
I was gonna say being dumb, but sure.
No, we're not dumb. No, we're just, by the end of the day, decision fatigue is a real thing, and you just can't make up your mind. And so I face that all the time when I'm home and need to cook dinner, and I'm like, I have no idea what to cook. So this will definitely help with that, and I'm excited about it. So, and I think we'll save money, because quite honestly, like between the times that we can't decide and we do takeout, we're probably we spend a lot more than we would on a meal plan. So and then we have a couple of like other staple meals that are kind of fine, like tonight's chicken. Yeah, tonight's chicken, rotisserie chicken, and salad.
Oh my God, so boring.
Yes, but it's food. It's nutrition. It's fine.
It's nutrition. Yeah. You should do what I did when I had COVID. Just put in a blender and just drink it.
No, that's gross and disgusting. And I still have taste buds, and it would actually taste like vomit, and therefore I would vomit.
Like it would taste like vomit going in and coming out.
Yes. So. If it even made it in before I vomited whatever was in my stomach. But,
oh my God.
Yeah. So that's what's going on here. Yeah.
Fine.
And I'm last time we talked or on the podcast, I was kid sitting.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
I survived that. So
the children
and the dogs. So but man, was I exhausted by Sunday night. So exhausted.
Yeah. Well, the driving back and forth between New York and Boston doesn't help.
Yeah, I mean, driving back was a little tough. I was getting really tired on the way down, which I stopped and got a coffee about halfway down, and at a rest stop, and they didn't have milk, first of all, which was like, I was like, what? Yeah, we're out of milk.
Unacceptable.
I'm like, I was like, this is Dunkin' Donuts. How can you be out of milk? I didn't even go into it. I was so tired. I was like, just put cream in it, then fine, whatever. I just need the coffee. And then I think it was still in my system because I don't usually. So it's like 3:30, maybe 4 o'clock.
Okay.
I don't drink coffee that late. And I think so that night when I got home and got settled and whatever, I was tossing and turning, couldn't get settled.
Well, you went to bed like something like 9:30 or 10.
Yeah. But I couldn't.
We were chatting, and you're like, "I'm in bed already." I'm like, "All right, bye."
Yeah. I mean, I was, but I was still restless, so it took me a while to kind of.
I can drink coffee at like 10 p.m. and then hit the pillow and fall asleep at 1.
That's insane to me. Yeah, that is insane.
It doesn't affect me.
Wow.
Yeah. Superpower.
Yeah. That is a superpower for sure. But when you drink it, does it help you become more alert and get things done or whatever?
I'm not sure. I just like the taste of it. Like, I'm not sure how much it does for me, to be totally honest. Yeah.
You probably are immune to it then.
Yeah, it doesn't. I'm not sure it does anything.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it,
Speaking of immune, you got your first shot last weekend.
Yes. So I got my first Pfizer vaccination on Saturday. Went to the Javits Center to get my shot. For those of you that don't know what the Javits Center is, that is this huge convention center in Manhattan. That's where they have
New York Comic Con,
New York City Comic Con, things like that. So that is the place.
Yeah.
So it is very, you go in and it's this massive facility and there are soldiers everywhere. I was like, oh my God, I'm in a movie. World War Z kind of deal, or Contagion, where literally like soldiers are directing traffic. It was actually pretty organized. I was in and out, and like I think even with the 15-minute wait afterwards, like 40 minutes, it really wasn't that bad.
Wow,
it was pretty fast. I think all things considered, I was directed. I barely had to wait in line. It might have been shorter. There were some cute soldiers. I was a little distracted.
Nice.
But I was like, I said it to you, but I was like, where do you want me to go, sir? Over
there behind the curtain. What? Okay, sure.
It was really efficient and everyone's really nice. And I got a free water and I was like, yes, free water. I love free water. It's like the best. Anyway, in and out. My arm was a little sore on Saturday night, and then Sunday I was like dead. Oh, yeah. I was like, my body was like, this shit again, and was bang, bang, bang. And then it was like, I was like, nah, please. I had fever, chills, headache, soreness. What else? I was I was a little like nauseous. It was like everything.
Whoa.
Yeah. I was like, I still ate, but I was like, oh, my stomach feels a little weird. But it's fine. My cough had gone away. It came back. So now I have
no way.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like, yeah, I'm like also like a little bit like phlegmy. I'm like, oh, is this normal? So it's a little annoying. But my next shot's on May 1st, and then I'm like, let that be it, please.
Yeah.
And then
May 15th, you'll be good to go.
Yeah. Hooray, medicine and cute soldiers.
There you go. Speaking of phlegmy, I think spring is really here because my head is just pounding today, especially today.
Really?
Like sinus
pressure?
Yeah, sinus pressure. I even took
Flonase.
I did use some Flonase today, and I took a Claritin D, and still I have a sinus pressure headache. Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, so I don't know.
And you have your like door open.
I do have the door open to let some fresh air because it's I cancan't help it. But
so you're like welcoming in the pollen. It's like, please come in, give me a headache.
Come in. Yeah, that's true.
Dumb.
So I do have the door open, but there's only our little old pear tree back there. Oh wait, there's that big pine tree.
It's out to all nature.
Yeah, that's true. But I like the fresh air.
It's overrated.
Clearly, because you have hibernated most of the year inside of your apartment.
Yeah. I haven't gone out since Saturday.
You have not been outside since Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh, but you weren't feeling well, so that makes sense. And then then it rolled right into
and then the work week started, and then so
right. Yeah.
I mean, I need to go out after this. I have to record this because I need to get supplies.
Yeah, I mean, today you better, because tomorrow it's going to rain all day. I know. I'm not. That's actually going to start at 2 a.m. and then
over. Roll
all the way. Oh, man. Yuck. But it's going to be what? Oh, it's only going to be 54 tomorrow. Wow. This up and down, like, you don't know, like one day today it was 70, tomorrow it's 55. Like, that's a big difference. But anyway, we digress.
Yeah, I don't know where this is going. In any case,
this is our banter in beginning.
Outdoors, pollen, nature, boo.
Well, I guess we should probably move on to why we're here this week.
Why are we here this week? What are you getting at?
We're going to talk about
our topic.
We're going to talk about the Women of Voyager.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought there was a surprise in store.
No, I don't have any surprises. You don't like surprises?
I think surprises are okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, yeah, all the first contact day announcements were of a surprise. Most of them. I was like,
that's true. Yeah. That is true. Actually, yeah, all of that was a surprise. They went all out for that.
Mm-hmm. They did.
They are keeping Strange New Worlds under wraps, though.
I know. One day.
But speaking of which, I started listening the Pod Directive. Star Trek: The Pod Directive is back for season 2.
So yes, I saw, and the topics just seem boring, so I haven't listened to it. How is it?
I'm in the middle of listening to. I started with Anson Mount, which was episode 2. Because I mean, I'm a huge Anson Mount fan, so it was fine. They were talking about other stuff other than Star Trek, which is the way the Pod Directive kind of rolls. But then I went back and listened to episode 1 because it's The Wrath of Khan, which is my favorite Star Trek movie, and so that's a little bit more interesting to hear them talk. And they have 2 guests talking about it, so. I don't know who Paul Scheer is, though. And
Paul Scheer sounds so familiar.
I know, doesn't it? But I have no idea who it is. And
did you Google this person?
I did not Google this person.
Okay.
But
information's at your fingertips. I don't know what
it is, And then also, I want to say Amy Nicholson. Yes, Amy Nicholson. Again, I don't know who that is either. So, but that one, I enjoy hearing people talk about The Wrath of Khan. So.
Okay.
Who are Paul Scheer and Amy Nicholson?
Paul Scheer. I don't care about Amy Nicholson. Paul Scheer. He does look familiar. He was on the Veep.
What?
For a little bit. Let's see what else.
Amy Nicholson.
He was on. Oh, he was in Lower Decks. Oh, he plays Lieutenant Commander Andy Billups, not the security. I'm sorry. He's the engineer. Wait, is that correct?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. He was.
Amy Nicholson is the head film critic for the LA Weekly. She writes for other things too.
Oh, interesting.
So, all right.
Let's see what else Paul Scheer was on. I'm like, he looks.
So she's a critic, and Paul Scheer is on Lower Decks. Okay.
I guess it was from his appearances on Veep that I kind of.
Veep.
That's what I said. What did you think I said? What did you think? What did you think I said?
I thought you said beep.
Beep. Get out!
So I had no idea what you were talking about.
Right. He was also Fresh Out the Boat. Huh. Interesting. I never really got into Fresh Out the Boat, so
I watched maybe the first season.
I watched like a few episodes.
He's from Huntington, New York. Okay, that's out on Long Island.
All right. You know what? This podcast is now about Paul Scheer. We can move on.
Okay.
But anyway, going back to the Pod Directive. So is it worth it?
I don't know. I mean, if you need something to, if you're cleaning or whatever or doing something else, you can put it on and listen to it. It's fine. It's that kind of podcast. You don't need to like pay a ton of attention. So
okay,
yeah, I was doing other things today, so that's why I was, listening to it while I was cooking breakfast, and and then just before I started my Voyager rewatch today. So in anticipation of getting back to why we're here this week, the Women of Star Trek Voyager.
Yes.
Namely, and we gave this away last week, even though you tried to be surreptitious about it.
I did try to be surreptitious. That is correct.
Yes, which was a huge fail.
It was a failure. It did not work.
Janeway, but not Captain. Maybe another rank, another rank, blah, blah, blah. So everybody, let's get into it for the Women of Star Trek Voyager.
When your captain first approached us, we suspected that an agreement with humans would prove impossible to maintain. You are erratic, conflicted, disorganized. Every decision is debated, every action questioned. Every individual entitled to their own small opinion. You lack harmony, cohesion, greatness. It will be your undoing.
So, as we mentioned last week, we are going to talk about actually two characters, Captain Janeway and 7 of 9. And so
and Cass.
Are we? No, we're not talking about Cass.
I was trying to pull a Nancy. We're not going to
talk about Cass. Yeah.
But,
don't you pull a Nancy on this show.
But given that Cass does appear in Scorpion parts 1 and 2, we can touch on her really quickly.
We could. Sure, absolutely. Very quickly. Cass was there. Great.
Yeah,
thanks.
She was present. But yes.
So we're gonna talk about Scorpions part 1 and 2, and then we're gonna head to the end of the series and talk about Endgame, which I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed it. But I don't know that we decided who's talking about. I think we're just gonna have a general discussion about Janeway and 7.
Yeah, I was thinking, unlike our previous TNG and DS9 discussions, we would kind of have just a general discussion, because of the two, I don't necessarily have like a quote unquote favorite.
No.
That I align myself with in any particular way or associate with in any particular way. So I think that we can just kind of keep it high level.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if we necessarily need to even stick to just Scorpion.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, obviously, B'Elanna has a big part in...
Those are good framing episodes, though.
Yeah.
It's the beginning and the end of...
the whole Borg arc.
The whole 7 Borg arc, yes.
Yeah. Yep. So let's start with Janeway. So Janeway and Scorpion is... and I've said this before, I feel like Janeway is the steadfast character of Voyager throughout the series. She has remained the same. I think in this episode, and specifically in part 2, when she's injured and she's talking to Chakotay before the doctor does his operation on her, this is still a character who is very much haunted by her decision in the pilot, which was to strand her crew in the Delta Quadrant. So I think everything about this character is all about getting her crew home. And this comes up...
and doing some discovery on the way.
Yeah. I
think that is... like the thing is, like, because we faced this decision in Endgame. This is the thing. So, because this is brought up specifically, it's like, do you want to do this again, right? Admiral Janeway asked younger Janeway, do you want to make the same mistake again? And this is coming from an older and more jaded Janeway. And Janeway...
wiser.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, maybe in some ways more knowledgeable, but I think that she's jaded. I think she's presented as this more jaded character because the whole thing is younger Janeway is the one to remind her of how idealistic she once was. So older Janeway presents younger Janeway with this dilemma. Like, do you want to do this again to your crew? Do you want to keep them for another, was it like 19 years?
16 years.
How many years? What, 23 years in the Delta?
23 years, and then okay. So this Endgame starts out 10 years after their return, which is 33 years.
Yes. Okay. Correct. So do you want to do this again? And younger Janeway is not if it means that we can deal this kind of blow to the Borg / kind of making a similar decision. She does get the crew to sign on, at least the senior staff. But this, I think that it's in some ways what happens in Endgame is like a redemption of what happened, like in that regret. But then it's at the same time, I think it's also saying that she would do this again. If she was presented with this choice, she would do it again because she would never be able to live with turning her back on the Ocampa like that. So I think that was I think that's in my mind, that's like kind of what it said to me. But yes, I do agree. I think that there is this arc that pops up once in a while. That
with her guilt,
with her guilt.
Regret. Her guilt and regret. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I think in Endgame, you do get to see. I feel like she's got her wits about her. I don't think that she hasn't lost her mind. She isn't crazy. She's really thought out this plan.
Janeway?
Yeah, Jane.
Oh, no,
Admiral
I don't
Janeway
think she's crazy. Yeah, no.
She's thought this out. I mean, she knew all of she needed information from Reg. She needed drugs from the doctor.
Yeah,
she needed this timepiece that Ensign Paris got her. Like they were like she's been planning this for a while, and
right.
So but it comes back to that fact that there were some people who were lost along the way, specifically 7 of 9. Who basically left a very heartbroken Chakotay afterwards. And I thought it was really kind of...
And Tuvok,
right? Yes, Tuvok needs a mind meld to get better. And from his family or from his family group, something along that lines.
Yeah, I was like, sure.
But I really like the scene where she goes to Chakotay's grave and, says all the things that Chakotay would say to her. Like it's too risky. It's, all of these things. I thought that was really, really a great little scene that she did, but she wants her crew to be happy. She wants her crew to be safe.
Right.
And, I think that also drives her is her devotion to her crew and her promise to get them home. And even though in that timeline, she did get them home in 23 years, she still regrets obviously all the people that were lost along the way. So but I think going back to Scorpion for a few minutes, one of the things that is very clear is the tonal shift between her relationship with Chakotay during that 2-parter, right? So she says that this is the best way. And so they start out in the early parts of part 1 that, they're going to do this together. They'll get through Borg space together as a team. We're in this together. And by the end of it, by the end of that episode, and she's gone over to the Borg ship, they've had their disagreement. She feels like she's alone. She's now
like this is her unilateral decision.
Yeah, she's doing this now. So I think that's the struggle that she had throughout the show, though, was this idea that the ship has become a family, but also she's still the grand matriarch, the one who has to make all of these decisions.
Right. Yeah. She's the captain.
Yeah, she's the captain. Yes, of course. I'm not saying that she's not the captain, but she has realized to some extent that the buck stops with her. And even if her crew doesn't agree with her, she still needs to go forward with and do what she thinks is best.
Yeah.
And I think that in Scorpion Part 2, that conversation, once she finds out that Chakotay has burned the Borg bridge, so to speak, and done all that,
she's displeased.
displeased is severely undercutting her
not thrilled.
her anger. I think, and you know, these back and forth. So they've had several of these back and forths, obviously, where they disagree, and it's gotten to a point where, you know, it's become too much. And then Chakotay at that point realizes the problem is that we aren't in alignment with one another. That's the problem with the human race. Which, gosh, could we play that today? I did watch it today, and can it mean the same thing today that it did back?
Basically, the message is that we all need to be assimilated and be part of a collective, and then it'll make things easier.
Well, our individuality is the problem, yes. Yeah. But I think there was hope in that too, that our individuality is important, but that we would gather and that we would come together and move in the same direction. And, you know, that still feels challenging. What is it? It's the 25th anniversary was this past year.
I know. Oh my God.
So this is a long time ago, you know.
It's so long ago.
95,
we're so old.
95 to 2002, right? So it ended almost 20 years ago.
We're very old.
2003. So yeah.
Dead.
Yes.
Getting there.
But 18 years later, we're still this mass of contradictions and disagreements.
I don't think it's ever going to change. I mean,
no, I don't.
Episode, I guess it was like, yeah.
Maybe it'll change if we had like
individuality. Well, I don't think it's ever going to be like TNG where everyone's like happy and homogenous, but
yeah, no,
it's going to be more like DS9 or something.
Yeah. Unless we do take a right turn and do the whole Independence Day, you know, the aliens come and invade and blow us up, and then we have to come together and fight them.
Oh my God, sure.
But that actually came up in the pod directive. It's actually that there's some interesting points now that we're talking about this a little bit. There's some interesting points that the guy, I forget his name, who's the head of METI, not SETI, it's METI.
Okay.
And Anson is on the board of this group. So he's on. So there is that connection. But it's basically sending out specific messages to extraterrestrials out there, like intentional messages. So
like what are they saying?
I don't know if they went into it. It's completely left my mind, but
okay. Very compelling, apparently.
I mean, it's interesting because they do talk about what it would be like if aliens did come now or in the future. So, I mean, yeah, we have two thoughts, right? They'll destroy us or they'll lie to us. And like, it's an interesting enough. I would say that is actually an interesting enough connection to a reason to watch, the reason to listen to that episode. And they do talk about the theory that space is so freaking large, and we've only been sending out signals, including radio signals, for like 100 years, which is going to take forever to transmit throughout the universe or whatever. So no one's coming
out like 100 light years.
Yeah, I mean, no one's going to come and, you know, check us out. So anyway,
yeah.
Back to Janeway. So I think that Janeway is, you know, she's kind of severe. Once they have that disagreement early in Scorpion 2, she's very like, nope, these are my orders.
Very
these
stern.
Are my orders. Yeah, she's, you know, she is very stern. Stern. And I was kind of, you know, looking back on it and even thinking about it now, Chakotay had some balls to really like do what he thought instead of following the captain's orders. So, but again, like we talked off camera before we started recording, you know, it's episode of the week and they're back to being fine the next week. So there's no real carryover. So,
well, I do think they kind of more or less reconcile by the end. But definitely by the next episode, everything's fine and dandy.
what did you think about the various standoffs between 7 of 9 and the captain, and then 7 of 9 Chakotay?
Okay, so, well, first of all, are we still kind of focusing on Janeway, or transitioning 7-9, or we're talking about Janeway and 7-9? Whatever.
We're talking about both, and I was kind of thinking, well, I'm kind of, since we're talking about Scorpion, that's what I was kind of focusing on. It's just kind of the arc within Scorpion of Janeway and 7.
I mean, the thing is, like, 7 is not really a character yet in Scorpion. I mean, she represents the Borg Collective. There's a little bit of personality, like just a little bit, but for the most part, it doesn't start to come out until a little bit later on in season 4. So, I thought that the interactions between them were interesting. The thing I do have to say about Janeway, I mentioned this on the last podcast where I was making fun of Michael Burnham, is that I do think Janeway is very cool-headed. You can give her any situation, and she approaches it very like, okay, here's what we're gonna do.
She's a scientist. She's analytical.
Well, so was Michael Burnham. Let's not forget, she was raised on fucking Vulcan. All right, but her emotions are all over the place. She lets her emotions control her. She's worse than Spock. Anyway,
tell us how you really feel, please.
Meanwhile, Janeway is cool as a cucumber. She, really, you can throw a Borg cube at her. She's like, all right, here's what we're going to do, So I think that even in this episode, I think is a really good example of her. She's just very tactical. She's very, in terms of the way that she approaches situations, crises, whether they be scientific or diplomatic. She's kind of boring in that way. Like we can say the same thing about Picard, I think. He's just like, he doesn't get too emotional. Like rarely do we see him emotional, at least in TNG. Obviously, he's a little bit different, older in Picard. But, I think her character is written in a way where she's a steadfast. And here, like, she sticks for her. The thing about Janeway is that she sticks with her guns. She knows what she wants, and it's not to say that she doesn't make mistakes and she doesn't recognize her mistakes, but I think that the thing that is respectable about her is that she is able to commit to her decisions and play it out. And I think that she's a great character in that way, and think that's why she's also been very inspirational to a lot of people. A lot of people who honestly grew up with Voyager. Like, we didn't grow up with Voyager, but a lot of people did.
Yeah.
Really found Janeway as an inspiration. Like, these random people are big Janeway fans. Like, AOC is a huge Janeway fan, I found out. I was like, okay. Like things like that. Like, just found her character as a source for what they wanted to do, to be a leader or to be a scientist, and again, we didn't grow up with that show, so I think it's different for us. Mm-hmm. But I think that there's a lot about Janeway, even if she's a little bland. That's respectable. I will say that 7 is an excellent foil to Janeway. Especially, we see this a lot in season 4. I know this is going beyond Scorpion.
Yeah.
But I did my Voyager rewatch in a very short amount of time. Yeah. And I did not recall them having so much conflict. But then I watched all these episodes back to back. And it was like, 7 is seriously like ruffling Janeway's feathers like every single episode. Like, it's almost every single episode she's not obeying what Janeway wants. There was this one episode, I don't remember the name of it, but you probably saw it, where the Hirogen are hunting like a species A472, like a member of species A472.
Yeah.
And, a Voyager basically saves the member. I don't even know what to call it, the A472 species, whatever.
Yeah.
And 7 is like, why should we help this? alien. And Janeway does this whole very, very standard Janeway speech. You know, she was like talking about something that basically she experienced when she was like, I think in the academy, and they were facing off against some Cardassians or something like that. It was during the Cardassian War. And basically they were put in a situation where they actually had to help the Cardassians. I don't remember the exact story. I might be like making it up at this point. I remember Cardassians were involved. But basically they had, you know, even though the Cardassians were the enemy, they showed mercy to the Cardassians, and it made them feel like more human, you know, in the midst of war or something like that. So I think the lesson that Janeway was trying to articulate to Seven was like, one way to experience with humanity is to show mercy to a being that would be your enemy, in this case species 8472. And Seven's like, fuck that. Like, she's legit just like, no, like, you know, this is dumb. Like, this makes no sense. The Hirogen are gonna come after them, this, you know, whatever, right. And we're gonna be in the crossfire. It makes no sense. And Janeway does this, you know, very stern, like, I'm ordering you to do this. And Seven's like, nope, I'm not doing it. And I think that it's very interesting, like, you know, and she's reprimanded, whatever, because eventually she does give species 8472 up to the Hirogen. But I do think that Seven was just a great foil for Janeway, and the two of them just butting heads all the time was a really great way to, I think, grow both characters. Like, because Janeway, the thing about Janeway is like, she never, you know, once in a while, like in Scorpion, she's kind of challenged a little bit. For the most part, she's really not. Like, she does what she wants. She's a captain, you know, and, you know, people carry out her orders, and usually everything's fine. Where you then have a character like Seven is like, you want me to follow your orders, but you also want me to follow my individuality. What do you want? You know? So it is very interesting.
Well, and Janeway does this to herself, right? She made the decision to keep Seven. She's actually at the end of Scorpion Part 2, she says, you know, it's our responsibility now. We removed her from the collective. So, you know, I think it's almost like a child. It's almost like an adolescent for, you know, a child for Janeway. Like, this is not that, you know, Seven. Well, I mean, technically Seven was a child when she was initiated into the Borg. So, yeah, I think you're right, though. It does pose a lot of challenges to Janeway, and that creates that drama that was missing probably from the early seasons, with the exception of like Seska, or, you know, gosh, I don't even think that there was anybody else besides Seska.
I'm like, is there anybody else?
So eventually they did get on that bandwagon where the characters need this foil. They need this drama to be created. And it's, you know, and maybe I don't even know, you know, the whole plan, other than the unfortunate storyline that we know in order to sex up Voyager a little bit. That's why they brought Jerry Ryan on, and the whole catsuit discussion, which, you know, again, we've talked about before, and it's just, it is what it is. And there's nothing about that history that we can change. But, you know, I think that I'm wondering whether the idea to also bring her on board was this idea to create some drama and to create some more DS9 like drama between characters, which, you know, Kira and Cisco kind of
it was good
represented.
Drama. Yeah, I mean, it definitely changed things up a little bit, because otherwise it's pretty ho-hum, you know?
Yeah.
Another day on Voyager. What trouble is Ensign Kim gonna get into today? Who knows?
Yeah, and speaking of Ensign Kim, I mean, it was great in Endgame.
I know. Oh my god. Well, okay, yeah. Poor Ensign Kim, Scorpion. Oh man, that was unfortunate. I was like, this poor.
There's that. He should have gotten a promotion after that. I mean, that's the other thing about. There's some real inconsistencies on this show that annoy me when I think about it. Like, in Endgame, they're still using the same transporter effect that they used 33
oh my God.
years before.
I was like, why?
You did the uniforms, the alternate timeline uniforms, which is totally cool, but you can't come up with a new transporter thing there's those sorts of things that just annoy the crap out of me. But also the fact is that, and I think this is a pretty popular stance, like, how can you leave Harry Kim an ensign for 7 years? You've promoted Paris twice. He got demoted
once. He got demoted once. Remember the water episode?
He can't. Yes, he came.
But then he got restored to lieutenant.
And nothing for Harry this whole time. So I don't know. These are the irritations of Voyager for me. Some of the inconsistencies. Also, I thought it was funny in Scorpion, and it stuck out to me, was that 7 of 9 knew how many torpedoes they had and everything. And I'm like, well, that number is not really fixed, because no matter how many they throw, somehow they still have plenty more to shoot the next episode.
Yeah, so, no, they ignored
how many shuttlecraft has Voyager had?
Oh my God, they have so many shuttlecraft. It's like one gets blown up every episode.
Yeah, every episode. So, all of these little inconsistencies that annoy the crap out of me as I'm watching Voyager, unfortunately.
I mean, Discovery's worse, let's be honest.
Yeah, well, we've talked at nauseum.
I feel that's another level, though.
That is another level, because at least there was Michael Okuda was part of this. We know it's 15 decks. And
they could have explained we figured out a way to build 400 torpedoes, because in season 1 they were like, yeah, this is what we have, but they could have been one line to explain, we found a way to produce them.
Yeah, or we're using our materials to build another shuttlecraft because we lost another shuttlecraft.
Or they could have been like, we built an industrial replicator, and we figured out how to build shuttlecraft.
I mean, they did build the flyer, so they maybe that's the whole point, is that they can build the flyer, they can build all these other shuttlecrafts too. So I guess that sort of answers our question from that perspective. They answered it, but in a different way.
Yeah, not exactly.
But I mean, come on, spend a couple $100 and come up with a new transporter effect for 33 years later. I know,
it annoyed me. It annoyed me too.
But anyway, let's see. So where we're going. So we were talking about 7 and throughout season 4. Yeah, I think I'm at the tail end. No, I'm at the beginning of season 6 in my rewatch, because I did watch Equinox part 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think by the time season 6 rolls around, she's definitely much more integrated. She's like,
yeah, but you're right. The entire season 4 is all about
conflict
back and forth conflict, and I didn't check, and I'm not that interested, but I wonder if it did bounce ratings up a little bit. And I mean, obviously, unlike Enterprise, which followed Voyager and only got 4 seasons, I mean, Voyager did do 7 seasons, so I imagine that 7 or 9.
I think it helped. I mean, introducing 7, I think definitely helped.
Yeah. And the Borg, which is always a big Star Trek draw, right?
Yes, it's always
so hence First Contact,
Mm-hmm.
So how about we jump down ahead to Endgame and kind of talk about our characters at that point in the timeline?
Sure.
Why don't we since we're on set talking about 7, why don't we stay focused on 7 and talk about her growth as a character and this relationship that's happening
with Chakotay.
Yeah.
Chakotay. I can't even say his name right.
Chakotay.
Well, they pronounce it differently at different points. Like B'Elanna in season 1 is like Chakotay or something. I was like, what? What's this? But eventually everyone says
tomato.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Chakotay.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm definitely on the camp when I was like, I don't understand where this relationship coming from, because earlier in season 7, or is this season 6? 7 was experimenting with this holo program. Do you recall?
Where I mean, vaguely they mentioned it in Endgame. So
right. So I think this is early in season 7. She basically was trying to learn how to socialize and fraternize and form relationships. And it was in that episode where she found out that her cortical node was also it's a suppressant of her higher emotions or whatever.
Also mentioned in Endgame. Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
So that all happened in whatever episode was.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it eludes me. But yes, I mean, that was the only time when there was like a little bit of like that, you know, and it was like in a fantasy, obviously. And then yeah, they really basically just stirred this up in Endgame. And I was like, all right, I guess this is something.
And from what I recall, Robert Beltram and Jerry Ryan were both kind of opposed to this from an internal perspective.
Oh, were they?
I think
I would be. I'd be like, where's this coming from?
You know, vaguely remember that kind of coming up to some extent, but you know, watching it on screen, I actually didn't mind it. I thought, you know,
no, I didn't mind it. I thought that they were okay. They had some chemistry, but it's like, I just felt it was kind of left field.
Yeah, and since I haven't finished my rewatch, and it's been years and years and years since I've watched Voyager, I don't really have that same feeling about it. But I'm sure once I watch it, I'll be like, yeah, where is this coming from? There's been no mention of this. But I thought it was interesting, you know, in the sense of I thought they had some good chemistry. You know, it didn't feel forced. I think we've mentioned before that the actors in Voyager really are great actors because they, no matter what was going on behind the scenes, and again, it's not the paparazzi internet that we have now where you hear about kind of the drama on TV.
Oh my
shows.
God. There was like so much drama. Like we talked about this a little bit before where, yeah, like came over hated Jerry Ryan. I was like,
I don't know, hated, that's a strong word, but
probably, she was jealous.
Yeah.
She was jealous. And you know, I said it before, I'll say it again. I really commend Kate Mulgrew. I think she's a great actress. Yeah. And I've struggled with jealousy. It's hard to hide it, you know, and she did a great job hiding it. She's really good at showing affection for Seven. And I'm like, I believe it.
Yeah, I totally believe it.
Like there's so much tension, you know.
I'm really excited, just as a side conversation really quickly, because I did support the
documentary,
Voyager documentary. So I'm really excited to kind of see what kind of comes out of that.
Oh, and Jennifer Lien, right, who played Cass.
Yes.
Apparently there's also like there were issues, you know, there were problems.
Yeah. I mean,
it wasn't just like, oh, let's get rid of her because Jerry Ryan's coming in. That was obviously a big part of it, but she was obviously, you know, I think it's public knowledge that
she struggled with drug
addiction
or something like that. Yeah.
Addiction, like she's been arrested quite a few times, indecent exposure. It's all on Wikipedia. But I remember even when it came out on page 6 a few years ago, I was like, what is this? What happened to Jerry?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But apparently, despite what people were saying and how complimentary they were of Jennifer Lien, there were also issues on set. So I wonder how much of that is going to come out.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think obviously there was some drama that came out of the Deep Space Nine one a little bit, and you know, not a lot, but
not a lot,
but you know, because I think over the years, I think the Deep Space Nine crew has reconciled, right? They've kind of, you know, things have moved on. Obviously, Terry Farrell, you know, left, and she ended up marrying Adam Nimoy. So, who, you know, who's involved in these as well. So, you know, there's a tie-in. But I mean, I'm going to be excited to see what this Voyager documentary kind of brings up. I mean, and you know, the fact that I love the title of the documentary. It's going to be To the Journey, which is the toast from Endgame.
Yes,
which I thought was really cool. And so rewatching it on Saturday night, or watching it for the first time in a long time on Saturday night, and hearing that, I was like, ooh, that's where they got it from.
Okay.
But you know, I'm excited to see that. But anyway,
but yes, going back to Seven in this finale, it was fine. She was fine.
Yeah, I thought
it was more about Janeway. Like,
for sure, yeah,
definitely more Janeway's journey. It was very Janeway's episode as it is Jean-Luc Picard's, like, to all
good things. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure. It's the captain's journey.
Time travel. It, like,
yeah,
you know, it spanned. It brought things like full circle. Blah blah blah. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
I think that it had a lot of this similar elements as All Good Things.
Yeah, and I'm also interested to hear if they'll do a season 8, like what happened to the crew after they get back.
That would be interesting because that's one main issue I have with Endgame, where, you know, I don't know what they could have done without adding another like 30 minutes to it, but it was a little abrupt. Like it felt abrupt. It's like it didn't have I don't feel that there was it didn't have like this epilogue that it could have in some ways. Like they reached Earth and, you know, fade to black.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think I definitely missed that. I was like, you know, I agree, an epilogue would have been great. I know that they did something, or I actually don't read the Voyager novels, so
was there an epilogue in the novel?
I mean, they've definitely carried on the story of the Voyager crew after,
because the epilogue, this is why All Good Things is my favorite finale. The epilogue, oh my god, every time I watch that, I'm like, do I have feelings? Like, am I feeling something? Just having them all at the table playing poker.
And Captain, you could have joined us a long time ago.
So good.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So no, good. That I agree. I mean, but we're next generation guys, so, you know, this is
but that was like, you know, them giving them one final. I know it's like, oh, the movie's coming out in 6 months, but it's also like one final shot of them as a family together.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Because in Voyager, B'Elanna's like just had her baby, like, you know, she's and like the doctor's with her, and then, you know, people were just like all over the place. You know, it doesn't have that like finality in some way.
Yeah, you know, and one of the, again, an annoying little detail, like you're in the Alpha Quadrant, you're home, like let's turn on the lights, like let's shut off red alert. We don't need to be on red alert anymore. Like bring the lights up, and like, but instead it stays in dark, and they just kind of float out and fade to black as the Voyager heads to Earth. So, yeah, you know, I have mixed feelings about it. I don't think that it necessarily served the whole crew as well as it could have. And I think an epilogue or something after the fact would have been really nice to see, you know, 1 year later, or, you know, even, you know, 1 month later or something, where we just kind of get that.
But like I said, that's like another, like, that might be like another 30 minutes, like, you know.
Yeah, but it did feel rushed, right? You know, this is a case of, you know, Deep Space Nine had 6 episodes or whatever to kind of wrap.
It was 10 episodes.
Oh, was it 10?
Yeah, 10 episode arc. It was like
to kind of, you know, where I think, and again, we've talked about this before, you know, the producers were very reticent about doing anything like that on Voyager,
right?
Unfortunately, but yeah, it would have been cool to see it, and maybe they'll do something like that in the Voyager documentary. I think that would be great, just to see what
like some sort of epilogue.
Yeah, some sort of epilogue, like a month later or a year later, like the first anniversary of them returning. I think, you know, and as we kind of rewrite the finale for people, but it would have been a nice bookend to this episode, because they did 10 years after the return of Voyager. They could have done another like 10-minute or whatever, 30-minute, like you said, just 1 year later, you know, just something to kind of bookend that episode. With the start of that episode. I think that would have been really nice to do. Definitely not 10. I wouldn't say do it 10 years down the line. That would not be. But I think a year later would have been nice to see, like, oh, a year later, like Carrie's like lieutenant commander or something, or commander, or, you know, something along those lines. You know, it just would have been kind of nice to see, because you do kind of get an idea of what they were in the alternate timeline, right? But you don't get any idea of what they were in the real timeline.
Right. Maybe we'll get something on Picard. Who knows?
That's possible. Yeah, it could be. I mean, with Jerry Ryan, certainly, being a part of that would be great to kind of learn. And also, like, I think that would be a great another, Picard novel. I'm fine with taking some of that and putting it into a novel form.
I guess it's fine.
I do like that expanded universe type thing going on where you can kind of fill it in if you want to, or but anyway, Janeway looks great as a 33-year-old woman.
I'm like, how old is she now? I was like,
well, no, I mean, it's not Kate Mulgrew.
No, I know what you are saying.
Oh, okay.
Like older Admiral Janeway.
Admiral Janeway looks
great. Admiral Janeway looks great. Meanwhile, Harry and Tom look like shit.
Yeah.
They look so bad. I'm like, oh my God, did you guys apply like extra age makeup to them? And they both have like terrible hair. Like Tom is like balding, very bald.
Harry's
looks haggard. Like I'm just
he does look haggard. I agree. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you can just
and then they mentioned
freshen up a little bit.
Yeah, like Harry mentions, I want to see your mom. Sabrina is Naomi Wildman's daughter.
Yes,
or
correct.
It would have been nice to see. Yeah, you never see her.
The girl just wanders off, and then
just it's like that little moment. So we've talked about this before, and I've said that 1,000 times this episode, but they really could have built out this crew in a way that was very much like Deep Space Nine and had a more family feel beyond the command crew, like some interactions that would, because of, and that we talked about that, remember at that episode that the mysterious crewman who dies and sends the doctor crazy because he can save her. We could have had so many more moments like that in Voyager. But I dig Admiral Janeway. She's a formidable presence.
Yeah, she's like more badass. She's a little more badass than she like. Well, I think it's also given her mission. She kind of like just doesn't give a shit. She's just like whatever. Like I just need to get back to 23, 60, whenever they are in. I don't remember.
Well, Chakotay died in 2394, so I'm trying. I don't know the math, but I wonder what year that the beginning of that episode is set in. I don't remember the year.
Wait, how many years has it been? 33 years?
33 years, yeah. From the launch of Voyager, right?
Oh.
So it's 16 beyond the end of 16 years beyond, or no, 26 years beyond the end of season 7.
I think 2370 something. Is that correct?
2370. So it's
70 something.
So maybe he died just a few years before then.
I don't know.
They didn't reach 2400 yet.
No, that's Picard. So
right. Yeah.
But no, I do like Admiral Janeway as well because she just like goes for it. I like the interactions that she has with younger Janeway, and like I said earlier in the episode, I think that it is a good emotional bookend to her character because, again, she's faced with the same decision, and she basically is saying that she would make the same decision if it means saving lives, but she gets a girl home. So there it is. So overall, I think Janeway is she's a good character. She has her blah moments where she gets on a soapbox and has her little diatribe, but I think otherwise, I think that she's a great captain. She's someone that you would look up to and respect, and
clearly people do.
She was competent. She's very competent.
Yeah,
and she's a little boring. She's a little bit probably too consistent, right? But maybe as a leader, that's okay. That's not the worst thing.
Yeah, she's steady. I mean, you kind of want that from someone who's kind of leading you through a situation like that. So, it makes a lot of sense. But I think
it may not make for the most complex, layered, and great character, but this is one thing that I think someone.
But they didn't really do that with Picard either, So she's kind of the female Picard. I mean,
right? Yeah.
Like Picard was kind of steady throughout his 7 seasons. So
yeah.
I think it makes perfect sense to have this example. Like we look up to Picard, a lot of people, especially a lot of young women, look up to Janeway, and I think that's great.
Yeah, I was reading this blog about Lower Decks, and different show, obviously, but one of the things that struck me about this blog, and it was talking about one particular episode of Lower Decks, but they were like, as like silly as all these characters are, one thing that you really have to admire about basically anyone that's in Starfleet is that they're all very, very competent. And I'm like, that's true. They are all very competent. Like, you have basically everyone knows how to do everything. Like Janeway knows Janeway knows everything. She knows how to fix fix the warp drive. She goes back and forth with B'Elanna, especially in season 1 when she and B'Elanna have more interaction, where they're trying to fix theoretical problems when it comes to warp and things like that, because they're stuck in a black hole or something. I don't remember this episode.
I do not.
But she knows science, she knows diplomacy. She's just super duper competent, and it maybe makes for a little boring of a character, but it's wow, this character knows how to do things. And you would totally.
Given her style of leadership and how competent she is, I think putting her in charge of an Intrepid class starship is kind of. I was thinking about this during Endgame. I'm like, and also thinking about what our conversation would be like. I mean, she's steady. She's a great captain. Why did she get an Intrepid class starship when she should be, you kind of want to see her on the
Starfleet's full of too many competent people.
Yeah, I guess so. So I don't know. That came up when I was watching it as well. Just thinking about, she should really be the captain on maybe not the flagship, but on a bigger ship that can do more. But creating a new ship class and everything was part of the whole plan for this smaller crew, which anyway, I admire Janeway. I think she's, and seeing her decisions through these 2 episodes, if I just watch these 2 episodes, I would like her and believe that she's a pretty competent and strong leader. And I think it's a great example for a lot of people, especially young women and girls. So it's great to have her in that kind of captain's forum of.
Though no, Chakotay, she does not do good imitations. I'm sorry.
I know. I was thinking that. I actually rewound that and listened again, and I was like,
I skipped it because I'm like, I can't deal.
Yeah, no, I went back and I was like, when he said that, he was like, "You do a."
Oh yeah, you make a good Picard. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here, Chakotay. Get out of
here. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. That was not a good Picard at all. But she, I did pay attention. She just read it like she was reading someone else's words. Like you would change your voice a little bit. You would kind of give some different inflections because it's someone else's words, but you don't sound like Picard. I'm sorry.
No.
You didn't do a British accent or a French accent.
So stupid.
No.
Wearing your Shakespeare hat. Read some Picard.
Yeah, exactly.
Go make some wine, whatever.
Yeah. So
get out.
So yeah.
Have we? So we talked about Janeway. We kind of talked about 7.
Yeah,
but we can talk more about 7.
I mean, I don't. Is
there more to say about 7?
I don't really have a lot to say about 7.
I mean, 7. So we talked about this in the past, but 7 is, along with the Doctor, because just simply
gets the biggest character arcs.
Yes, they are.
They get the biggest character arcs.
Yes.
Sorry,
it's
So absolutely.
But you know what? It's because they're both like Data. They're basically both like discovering how to be more human.
Yeah.
Like the Doctor going from like just an emergency medical hologram to being a member of the crew.
Yep.
Earning his rights, whatever.
I think that was the flaw in Voyager, though, is that they didn't really parse out and plan out the characters' kind of development.
I know, poor Cass and poor Neelix.
I mean, yeah.
Actually, poor everyone.
Poor everyone.
I'm like, Tom Paris doesn't really have that much change. I mean, he does marry B'Elanna, but B'Elanna has some development in season 1 because she goes from this really, really angry Klingon to a very competent Starfleet engineer. And then she has moments of like Klingon-ness pop up once in a while, like dead or something, whatever.
Yeah.
But like otherwise she stays flat for the rest of the show.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely
Harry, stasis forever. He's like, I miss my parents. Like, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, we know you miss your parents. Chakotay, I still, like I said this before, I would have shipped Chakotay and Janeway. They had great.
Oh yes, yeah.
But that went nowhere.
I don't know how that. I was thinking about that too. I just don't know how that would work, and
it's too complicated.
And that's why I was actually okay in Endgame seeing Seven and Chakotay get together, because that that sort of made some sense to me. Right. But obviously it wasn't agreed upon with the actors, or it was kind of thrown in there, as you said. So. I mean, Tom and B'Elanna get together. Harry's still an ensign. I mean, still single. Yeah, like doesn't. Yeah. There's just so many things that, even if they slightly serialize the show, I think it could have been better. But again, it wasn't. It was in late 90s, early 2000s.
I would say,
that wasn't what TV.
Enterprise was not the best, but Enterprise tried to tread that line a little bit more, where it was like slightly serialized. So you had more character moments carry over from episode to episode, and they would reference more things like, oh, 2 episodes ago, 3 episodes ago, this happened, or an injury would actually carry over from episode to episode. So they did a little more of that.
Yeah.
Not as serialized as DS9, but we can talk about Enterprise next week.
Sure, we can talk about Enterprise next week.
I did my Enterprise rewatch. Did you?
The difference between you and I is that I don't sit down and binge shows.
Well, you know what?
Rarely do I do.
I don't. So
what's that?
I said you have a boyfriend. I don't. I have a fish tank.
You do. You're right.
Yeah, I have an aquarium.
I mean, yes, I could see if I did not have a significant other, I would probably binge
have more time
TV,
on your hands.
That's more time on my hand. Yeah, that's true. Understandable. Well, again, let's fix that situation, dear audience. Matchmaker recommendations, please. Game matchmaker recommendations, if you please. And
are we done talking about 7 and 9?
I mean, I'm moving on.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I mean,
I don't think we need to. We're already at an hour plus.
Are we?
Yeah, we are. So I think.
Oh. Well, you know what? It's different, but I'm glad that we see 7 in Picard. It's a very different 7.
Yeah, I love her in this. I love her in this.
She obviously has expanded upon her definition of sexuality. It's not just, Chakotay. It's like, I don't know, she's like pansexual, bisexual, any label. I don't even know what it is, but she and Rafi, we'll see how that expands in season 2.
Season 2, yeah.
But they made her like a little grittier, Icheb, poor Icheb,
whatever.
You're like, everyone's like, whatever about Icheb.
Everyone's whatever. Because there are stories about that guy. Everyone, I don't even want to talk about
Wait, what are you talking about?
Oh, you should do a rabbit hole search on that guy.
The actor?
Yes.
Icheb?
Yes.
What?
There's a reason why he was not in Picard.
What?
I don't remember all of them, so all of the reasons but he's creepy.
Oh,
yeah. So anyway,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, do some research and we can chat about it.
Do you need me to go on like Reddit or can I just go to Wikipedia?
Oh, I don't know. Probably Wikipedia would do just fine.
Okay.
That will lead you. Wikipedia will lead you down the rabbit hole, I think, and then you can do other searches.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So it's not. There's no love lost there, and again.
Oh, interesting. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm excited to see more of Seven in Picard. I would love to see Janeway come into it as a cameo or something in Picard. That would be great. Yes. So I was about to go down the list of like people I wanted in Picard, but that would take us away from Voyager.
I'll take anyone.
That would take us away from talking about Voyager, but I'm excited for the development that we'll hopefully get to see of Seven as this second season of Picard kind of rolls out, and who knows, because I think that we kind of have an idea that Picard is a fixed length of time, and maybe something in this Picard universe will kind of come out, and the new show will kind of spawn out of that. I just thought of a great dream matchup would be Michelle Yeoh and Jerry Ryan in the 25th century, kicking ass and taking names. So, I'm excited to see more of Jerry Ryan in Picard for sure. And I would love
Jerry Ryan. Yes, I am excited to see more of her. I think that she's a great actress. I think that it is unfortunate that she had to wear a catsuit for 4 seasons. And it looked very uncomfortable.
Yes,
it's just like, how do you breathe in that thing? But she did the best she could with that character. I think that she did a great job. So kudos to her. It wasn't just
she had 4 seasons of good drama. I mean, really,
it was like, she's a good actress.
She's a good actress and she's beautiful. No complaints about that. But definitely how they utilized her as a sex object in order to sex up Voyager was really unfortunate. But the 90s, I don't really miss it, but there it is.
I guess I'm like, do I miss any decade? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really either.
Okay. All right. Well, cool. I guess that wraps it up for our Voyager talk, which is a little bit scattered, but whatever.
Yeah, we're all over the place.
Wait, so are we gonna do Enterprise next episode?
I guess you put it out there, so we didn't talk about this before the show.
We did not. So this is very impromptu.
So I'm gonna put this on your lap, and you're gonna tell me what episodes to watch.
I can do that. And we have T'Pol and Hoshisato. Poor Hoshisato.
Oh, see, there we go. Another
episode than like 4.
I think there's a good Vulcan arc we could talk about in Enterprise with T'Pol.
It's 3 episodes. It's like the Forge or something.
So we could talk about that.
Sure. No, there are some really good Vulcan episodes. There are some great T'Pol episodes, actually. I'm trying to think if there are any good Hoshi episodes. That would be a struggle, but
that would be a struggle. Well, we can lament just like we do about Harry Kim about Hoshisato.
Yeah, Hoshisato and Mayweather. I don't even remember his first name.
Yeah,
I did.
And you just watched this. I don't have this at the top of my tongue because it's been a long time since I've watched Enterprise. So
no,
Travis Mayweather.
Yes, thank you.
There we go.
Thank you. Thank God, one of us remembered.
And then the whole read alert thing, and oh gosh, like come on.
Well, that was play for jokes. It was play for jokes.
Bad jokes, dad jokes.
It was when it was one of those episodes where everyone on the crew was going crazy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all right. So we will. All right, next episode, we're going to talk about T'Pol and maybe Hoshi. But we'll talk about Enterprise.
We'll do some. I'll do some. Talk about. There'll be more material to talk about Cass than Hoshi.
Oh, no, let's not do that though. Let's not go crazy here.
I liked Cass.
She was just it was fine. It wasn't a very exciting character. I mean,
it wasn't the most exciting character, no, but I feel like they didn't do her justice. And then I feel that
I don't disagree with you about the doing her justice thing. Don't disagree at all. I think that,
and then they anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping that there's at least a little bit about the Voyager documentary that kind of delves into these things just a little bit, like touches on them, because I think doing a Voyager documentary without touching on these things would be a disservice. I think that, yes, we need to talk about how the producers treated the cast, what the cast thought about some of the decisions about their character. It doesn't take away from the fact that they are family to one another and stay in touch and whatnot. Maybe not Jerry and Kate,
I don't know how far they're gonna go with it. Because they have to, if it's a legit documentary, they have to talk about the friction on the set between Kate and
absolutely. I hope so. And the fact that it was almost 20 years ago that the show ended. I think that hopefully after 20 years, people can talk about it without the emotional attachment to it and just kind of like admit their wrongdoing. And maybe Kate has said, I wasn't the greatest person to Jerry when she first came on. Maybe she's done that before. I don't know. But, I think things like that, or maybe, we weren't as supportive of Jennifer as we could have been, so I think that I hope that they do kind of get into some of that stuff. And I'm confident that the producers, it's the same producers of the Deep Space Nine one. It did become the most funded, highest funded documentary in the history of Kickstarter or Indiegogo or whatever it was.
They blew past all their levels.
Yeah. They had to create new ones. They created 10 levels and then some. And I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see that. I obviously want to give them time, and probably, now that we're talking about this, I think seeing it come out in about 2 years when it's 20 years after the end of Voyager kind of makes sense. So or maybe it's a year and a half at this point, but anyway, it sort of makes sense. So hopefully they get into kind of some of that and really talk openly and honestly about that. So, but we'll see. Anyway, so next week we'll talk about T'Pol and maybe Hoshi in Enterprise.
We have to talk about Hoshi a little bit.
Yeah, okay. So the homework is on you to assign my...
Yes, I will give you homework.
Because it has been a long time since I've watched that.
That's fine.
All right. Let's move on to one final shout out before we say goodbye this week, and that's to our sponsors, Fansets.
Yeah, Fansets.
And we love Fansets. Well, I love Fansets. I know you're not a pin collector, and I have my pin collection, a small pin collection, but they do have some really nice pins for Janeway and Seven. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. First of all, they do have an Admiral Janeway pin, which I'm kind of digging. But they do have Janeway with coffee. They have a Women of Trek Captain Janeway from Series 1 with a glitter background. And they also have her as Queen Arachnia. So they actually have 2 versions of Janeway.
Queen Arachnia. Yes, Captain Proton.
Yeah. And then they still have the 50th anniversary Captain's Master set. So you could get Janeway as part of that as well. And it is $175.
Oh my God.
It does come in its own frame with its own background and everything. And you do get 10% off if you use DS Pride as your promo code.
All caps.
All caps. Mm-hmm. So, and then for 7, they do have a Picard 7, which I'm excited about. They do have a Women of Trek 7 of 9 from Series 2. And then they do have 2 versions of 7 of 9 Microcrew. One I would say is season 4. And one is more like season 7.
Is it just different variations of her cat suit?
It's different. Obviously the cat suit is from season 4, the silver one. that she wore. But the artwork on the faces is different. So same thing with Janeway. So I think they did an early set of pins, and then they came back and did some more detailed versions that look a little bit different. So I'm digging the Voyager, the 7 to 9 version 2 one. Also the Picard one is great in her outfit, which is kind of like Lara Croft.
Yeah, it's like leather jacket.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm digging that. So, and I'm digging the Admiral Janeway one. So we want to give a huge shout out to you, Fansets, for supporting our podcast and the entire Trek Geeks podcast network.
Thanks, Fansets.
Thank you, Fansets. All right. So as we kind of come to the end, how would our valiant listeners who have been with us through these hour-plus long trips of us just talking about Star Trek and going off on these
so many tangents.
We are definitely a tangent podcast for sure.
Yeah, I'm like, where's the agenda? Stick to the agenda.
We did not have an agenda for this one. We had one.
Well, it was just like talk about Janeway, talk about Seven.
Yeah, this was the least planned episode we've done ever.
It did feel a little bit more scoured than usual, but it's fine. We're here for you. Okay, so if you want to reach us, you can email us at deepspacepride@gmail.com, or you can message us on Twitter and Instagram. And our handles there are at Deep Space Pride.
All right. Well, we look forward to talking about Enterprise. Maybe you look forward to it more than I do, but
I mean, it's fine. It's just like, we might as well kind of just wrap this up.
Yeah.
Did you want to do more? I don't think we need to talk about Discovery.
No. We've done a lot of Discovery talk. So no, we'll wrap up the Women of Trek with Enterprise next week, and then we'll come up with some other TBD. Yeah, maybe Prodigy will surprise us and launch.
Oh, okay.
I'm kidding. It won't. It won't do that. But anyway, maybe we should do a movie.
Sure.
Anyway, we'll talk about it. Anyway, next week we'll talk about the Women of Enterprise on Deep Space Pride. And we thank you all for listening in and dealing with our very tangential episode this week. So have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you again next week.
Bye.
Deep Space Pride is a production of Coconut Media Works. Executive producers Bill Smith and Dan Davidson. For more great Star Trek discussion, discover the other shows of the Trek Geeks podcast network at trekgeeks.com, or find us in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app.
Coconut.